Hold on. You know what? I think this actually worked. I think this actually worked. No way.
Moin Moin YouTube. Today is about ceramic resin. I don't know if you're aware of this, but for resin printers like the Elgo Saturn over there, or basically any other resin printer, you can get ceramic resin. Now the name is a bit misleading there. It's basically resin with mixed in ceramic powder into it. And what you do is you print like you'd usually do. And afterwards, the piece that you've printed contains a lot of ceramic material. You put it into a kiln, you burn out the resin, and what you get is a ceramic piece. Now, I first noticed this stuff over on a Texas YouTube channel because I use it in a couple of projects. And given that I do quite a bit of pottery, I was kind of naturally interested into it. Now the problem, and why I'm creating this video, is that for just 1 liter of this stuff you pay about 360 euros or around about $360 given the current exchange rate, which is just unreasonable if you try to actually produce something that you want to retail on Etsy or an online shop or anything like that, because just a cup or a mug or something easily weighs about 300 grams. So 3D printing it with this price would mean that that mug would already be like 100 euros just for production cost. So in this video, what I'm trying to do is to see and do a little experiment if it's easy to create your own ceramic resin, to just cut down costs there and make it a bit more economically reasonable. Okay, time for some basics. Some ceramics consist of kaolin, feldspar, and quartz. Now I'm saying some because there's also different kind of ceramics, but let's stick to those for now. Mostly depending on how you mix those, you either end up with earthenware or Steingut in Deutsch, stoneware or Steinzeug in Deutsch, or porcelain. Now, of course, people don't just buy those 3 components and mix them themselves. They buy pre-made mixtures, in this case here, earthenware. What you do to create pottery from that is you mix this powder with water and then you pour it into a gypsum mold, let it sit for about half an hour. The gypsum will drain a bit of the water and leave basically a positive print of the pottery that you're trying to copy there sticking onto the inside. You let it dry for a while and cut off all of the excessive amount of earthenware there. Let it dry a bit further and there you have it. A pretty fine looking green body, which you just set aside someplace warm and dry for about a week and give it time to dry. And after all of that, what you basically do, what happens is that all the water evaporates from that item. All of the 3 main components of the mixture still stick together. And then you put it into a kiln, burn it for 13 hours at about 950 degrees. Well, it climbs up to that temperature. One of the components melts, glues it all together, and you get that ceramic item. Now, afterwards, what you can do is you can glaze it and then burn it again doing glaze firing. And then, for instance, you get something like this here, which is one of the cups that I design and produce. It's that model that you saw in the video, but the glazed version of it. Great. So what I want to try is very simple. I will take the ceramic, earthenware powder and mix it with resin for first test in about 50-50%, 50-50 ratio. Just create a shard, throw it into a biscuit firing process, and see if it comes out in one piece. Now the earthenware mixture that I have is just way too rough or grainy. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a couple of failed pottery pieces and grind them down into a much smaller powder, which will mix up a lot better with the resin to make sure that we have it, as densely inside of that resin mix as possible to give it a better chance of sticking together after the burning process. And as you can see, this already looks a whole lot better. I mean, it almost looks like flour. To produce the shard that I want to throw into the kiln, I have 3D printed 2 TPU parts held together with clamps and sprayed a bit of PTFE lubricant on there to make sure that the piece actually gets out of it. I create a 50-50 mixture of resin and the earthenware powder, 100 grams of resin and about 100 grams of the earthenware. Give it a good stir to turn it into a mixture that I can actually pour into the mold and take it from there. Now to cure this, I basically just turned my curing station upside down, and by curing this, glued together the earthenware powder, creating this little shard of, well, earthenware resin, sort of ceramic resin mixture. Given that firing up the kiln once costs about €7, it's always a good idea to put in some other stuff that need to burn. Unfortunately, my kiln is in there, and getting in there during, well, rain, which is happening quite a bit right now, with unburned ceramics is not a good idea, so waiting. Alright, made it over here. Now this is my kiln. It's a 60-liter volume top loader, and what we basically need to do is, well, this is the ceramics that I will just start putting in there, but we will also put the little test thing, example, subject, whatever, also in there.
So it is one day later and the firing is done. We are going to open it now and, well, let's see if it worked. For that we open up here a seal, lift it up. Holy cow, hold on. You know what? I think this actually worked. I think this actually worked. No way. Let's see. Okay. Apparently it actually worked.
Okay, wow, so that weirdly worked, which I didn't expect, honestly. That was, like, weird. But, well, right. Now, before I'm actually willing to, make a batch of that mixture and put into a printer, there's one more test that I want to do, because first of all, that thing that I printed was very, very thin. Secondly, the moment the camera was off, it basically all crumbled, which I believe is because it was too thin and not structured enough. And secondly, that mixture was just very thick. I mean, you see it in the video, it's not very liquidy, and if I want to have any chance of it to work up in my resin printer, it needs a bit more liquidy. So I will do a trial run with two pieces that are, first of all, thicker, and second of all, one with, again, 50-50 mix, just for reference, and one that will be about just 30% of the earthenware powder in it, and see if that also still works. Now this time I'm using acrylic glass, so I can actually get the UV light on it from both sides, not just one-sided. I recreate the mixture, and I basically put several layers onto it and always cure it, layer by layer, similar to how a printer would do it. And after it's fully cured, just slicing off the edges there a little bit to give it a bit of shape and to make it distinguishable. Finally, to have some idea of what's going to happen inside the kiln, I light the remaining shards on fire, and, well, it's a nice little fire, but no real takeaways there. So, what's the result of that try? Well, let's take a look. Now, these are the two pieces that I got out of the kiln, and this is one that I'll be using to show you how tough that is supposed to be in a minute. This is the piece that had about 33% resin, 33% of the earthenware mixture in it, and this is the 50-50 mix, 50% resin, 50% the earthenware mixture. So as you can already see, the 33% mixture, it did come out, but it just crumbles to dust completely. That's pretty bad. So quite crap. Now, as for the 50-50% mixture, it feels a bit better, but it's the same, basically. Just crap. So I call that a total failure. just for comparison, by the way, this is just created regularly. I use that to create textures for ceramics. Basically, I can't even break this by hand, so much more robust than how it's supposed to be. And well, you just saw the mess I made, so it's a complete failure. Crap. Okay, that didn't work. Now there's not much of a point in pushing this further, because the 50-50 mixture with the earthenware stuff is already so clay-like that it will be impossible to print it above that. I mean, even the 50-50 mixture already had very bad feelings about. So unfortunately, not as trivial as I kind of hoped it would be to create that stuff. But you know, it is possible to create this this kind of stuff. So I will dig into it, see if I can come up with an idea on how to make it actually work. So I guess the biggest takeaway for you guys, if you're still around, is it's not that simple. Weirdly, it's not that simple. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it a bit informative. I'll be very happy if you guys subscribe, probably leave a comment down below, check out one of my other videos somewhere, and have a good time. Bye.